Mm. Yeah, boy. Agent Wilson on top, top, top. Can't take her spot, spot, spot. She's MVP, P, P. 1, 2, and 3, 3, 3. Her game is T, T, T. And whatever the rest of that joint was, man. Yo, shout out to Agent Wilson, man. Shout out to Malea Obama, who directed the commercial I'm about to talk about. Shout out to everybody involved. That thing. Shout out to Nike. That thing was hot. A commercial that they put out. There's two versions of it. One is the one joint, you know, where they got the different bands in there. I think somebody said it was Agent Wilson's grandmom in there. Dawn Stanley made an appearance, man. Listen, that was hot, that idea she went through. And what I'm glad to see is that they took their time with this one. They took their time with this one, man. They really sat down with Agent Wilson and they put together something that represents her, who she is, her essence, and targeting those who she's likely to inspire. You feel what I'm saying? That was really good, man. You had the little girl with the beads in her hair with Agent in it, man. Yo, that joint was fire. That joint was fire. You know, shout out to them again, man. The Asias, the A1s, the sneakers, which are fire. You know what I mean? Sold out within minutes. They got pink joints. They got the blue joints. You know what I mean? I was thinking about, man, you know, getting something for my daughter. I got daughters, bro. So this commercial really touched me, man. It took me back to when I was a young buck, you know, coming up like in the 80s. And, man, that was the thing. You know, it was a different time, man. You ain't have really, the computers back then was whack. You know, only the most you could get was like MS-DOS, you know, Unix PC, you know, with the black screen and the green writing, the green typing. You know, the internet, man, that ain't come to what, like 95, 96, something like that as far as Windows and all that. Listen, man, we went outside, bro. You know, we go outside early in the morning, man, play in the street, playing basketball. If you got one, if you ain't got a basketball, we take a crate. You know what I'm saying? That's what the boys were doing. We take a crate, you know, the milk crates, cut the bottom out of it, man. Nail that thing to a telephone pole. You know what I'm saying? And we got it in playing basketball, man. We used to play football on concrete. To all of y'all out there or in the street, you know what I mean? We be playing football. Then if a car come, all right, we got to stop. We got to get out the way. Wait till the car come by. We used to play tackle in the street, man. To all of y'all, had a couple of dudes from Australia talking about, oh man, rugby is so tough on her because we don't have all these uniforms and all that. Man, listen, man. You can't have African Americans playing no sport like that without pants, bruh. People be dying. You know what I'm saying? But at any rate, man. And girls, what the girls did is what Asia captured. You had the jump rope. You know what I'm saying? They used to also have hopscotch. You used to take chalk. You know what I'm saying? And do a couple of like boxes, man. A number of boxes with the numbers in it, and the girls used to hop. You know, I used to play jacks, man, with some marble balls, jacks. Those were the days, man. And one of the main things was the girls' hand games, man. This is something like it's almost exclusive to young black girls. And for Asia to go do that, man, big shout out to Agent Wilson for that, bro. Because that really captured our culture big time. You know, a very, very cute part of our culture, man. Warmed my heart for sure. You know, I love that, man. And then she had the song to go with it. Yeah, Agent Wilson on top, can't take a spot. Come on, man. Yeah, that don't touch you, man. Something wrong with you. Now, everybody probably can't relate to it. But listen, man, everything, you ain't got to relate to it, man. You know how many times I turn on the TV and I see stuff that don't relate to me? It's just some white dudes on a skateboard, or BMX dirt bikes, and you know what I mean? And I can still appreciate it. So something doesn't have to be your culture for you to appreciate it or for you to think it's hot. You feel what I'm saying? So, shout out to her, man. You know, this was really an expression who she is. You know, that's what and that's what matters with that at the end of the day, man. That's what matters. That's what matters. And she deserved it, man. You know, I was feeling just them going to the clips of her blocking shots and just being dominant. She is the most dominant force in women's basketball. And like I said, there's an argument for her being the best number one out of any sport right now. Like, if you look at whoever's the best player in this sport versus the second best player, I think there's a wider gap between A'ja Wilson and whoever that is. Whether it's Nafisa Collier, whether it's Breonna Stewart, whether it's someone else that you pick. I think there's a larger gap between her and that person than there is between, say, maybe Patrick Mahomes and, you know, maybe Lamar or Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Or in the NBA, I don't even know who the best in the NBA right now. I mean, some people are saying Jokic. I don't really agree with that, but let's say it is Jokic. Him and SGA. Ain't no big. The gap between A'ja and that person is way wider. You feel me? So that swag she's walking with in the joint, yeah, man, walking into the stadium. You know what I mean? That was hot, man. That was hot. Shout out to Malea Obama, who I heard, you know, directed it. So, you know what I mean? She might have a good future, you know, in store for her and directed. You know, that was hot. I was feeling that. I was feeling that commercial, man. Just real quick, man, there's a couple people in the comment section what I said about Paige. And, like, I don't understand, bro. Like, and this is relevant to A'ja Wilson as well, because A'ja Wilson is seen as what? Outspoken activist because of what she said concerning, you know, white privilege that is afforded to, like, white players and stuff like that. I'll be trying to figure out, like, why this type of stuff bothers people so much. I don't get it. Everybody know, like my man, he comes in the joint, and I'm hoping you're not a black dude, man, because really we don't need that, man. It's old stepping, fetching stuff, bro. Like I lose a lot of, you know, patience with that stuff. But I'm gonna try to be cool here. He says something like, you know, privilege don't put the ball in the basket or something like that. Like, bro, whoever said privilege does put the ball in the basket? Like, what are you talking about, man? It's not an issue of, you know, a black player not having skill, trying to argue that they should be treated as if they have skill. No, it's the old adage that black people feel like you got to be 2-3 times as good as a white counterpart in order to get the same credit that they get. That's really what they're saying. That's how black people feel oftentimes in a lot of areas, you know. And if someone has that feeling, why do you feel you need to invalidate how they feel? Why don't you try to understand? You know, and then like there's this comment about you know, the WNBA just turned into a league of just activist league and all of that. Like, and why do you care if they're activists? I'm trying to understand. Like, what does that have to do with you? Are you the powers that be? Like, if you are like some oligarch, you Warren Buffett, I ain't gonna point nobody out, but let's say if you're some oligarch, right, and their activism is a threat to you directly, then I can understand. You just a regular dude, I'm assuming, that go to work, take care of his family, eat chicken, go take a dump. You a regular guy. Why does women being activists or speaking out against injustice they feel bother you? Why do you feel you got to step up and say, you're just an activist, I don't want to see that? Why does it bother you? Like, really, think of why. Is it because you heard somebody on the internet, some little grouch who builds his whole channel based on hating on other people? You heard his argument and then you felt like, all right, I want to join in on that? Is that what it is? Like, why does them speaking out for them bother you? Like, Angel Reese was talking about the amount of money they're getting paid in the W. And I've been hearing a lot of dudes be like, well, you know, they complain about more money. Well, y'all need to sell more tickets. Like, why do you feel the need to say that? Like, nigga, either you gonna help or you not. You know what I mean? If you're not, all right, you're not. What you gotta rap for about it for? Ain't nobody talking to you. When they're complaining about their grievances, they're likely coming at the president of the WNBA, the commissioner, right? That's who they're coming at. They're not coming at you, Johnny boy. Like, who are you, bro? Like, why do you feel like you have to have something to say about someone else's activism or someone else's grievance? You know what I mean? It reminds me of like the common rank and file, and not to pick on anybody, man, but the common rank and file Caucasian in America, right? Who don't like the fact that black people are looking for reparations, right? Why do you give a damn? Like, I don't understand. Nobody's telling you. Like, you weren't, listen, man, I've said this before on the channel. The common rank and file white person in America, y'all don't have, like, ancestors that either ruled the country or owned slaves or anything like that. Most of y'all don't. Like, those were rich people that owned plantations and stuff like that. Why do you care if people feel like or people should get the reparations that was promised? Why do you care? Why do you feel like you got to step up and have an opinion about that? I don't understand. Nobody's talking to you. Like, the whole situation with the reparations is between the descendants of slaves, descendants of, American chattel slavery, versus the government of the United States, who made certain promises. That's what that's about. It's not about just every white person or something like that. Y'all ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't understand, why do you feel like you got to offer an opinion or you got something to say? Nobody care what you got to say about it, because it doesn't involve you. That's like whatever happened October, January 6th stuff or whatever. Like, y'all feel like y'all going through this, going through that. That's what happened. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I sat back, I was laughing at that joint. I thought it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because half of those people always complain about other people who protest or other people who activists. You complain about activists, then you go do that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. No, I'm not saying this is everyone, but you know what I mean. I don't get that, bro. They're just a bunch of activists league and all of that. Why do you care? I don't get that. Why do you care? It just blows my mind. They want better pay. They want equal this, equal that. Dudes who ain't gonna help or hurt one way or the other got opinions about that. It's like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it, man. What was the other thing? I don't know, man. Like, our dudes be blowing my mind, man. Our dudes be tripping. But anyway, man, let me go ahead on, man. I just wanted to mention something about that commercial, man. That joint is fire. I'm happy for Asia Wilson. Shout out to her. Definitely for selling out. You know what I mean? Shout out for Nike for putting together a fire pair of sneaks. You know what I mean? We look forward to seeing them play. I think the Aces in action tomorrow. Look forward to it, man. Love watching them play. Peace out.